It's not quite 8. I think it's maybe not quite 7. I can't see the time. On an overcast morning, no sign of brightness yet. May end up being a gloomy day, which I prefer daylight brightness, but it does not used to affect my mood big time to not have brightness. These days, much less so. I can feel really good on a rainy day, gloomy day. It's respite from the heat, which has been bad, really rough the last couple days. The morning has been noteworthy for how smooth and easy it's been. I was up until the middle of the night, 3 o'clock or so, discovering memories in my phone, documenting. My first year on the road I was so awash in the chaos of oneness and all the magnificent experiences I was having that I never took a note, never mentioned where something happened or when something happened. Didn't put it in any of my regular files in the phone for calendar, or barely any contacts. If it hadn't been for the videos and the photos I took, it would be very hard to reconstruct what went on in that year. But then that's what I was doing last night, was even though I was not on the Wi-Fi, I found I could scroll in my iCloud 3 years back and look at some of the things that were going on 3 years ago. And the memories would come back so brilliantly. I just had a very hard time letting go of doing it, which I finally did. So I slept only maybe 3 hours, but woke up feeling very fresh. And the thing I noticed about the process of getting out of the car and getting the dogs going before the street got real busy, I was moving slow on one level, but everything seemed to be exactly where I needed it. Through 3 years of traveling in a camper van, the task had always seemed to find a way to have everything in its place, because I spent so much time looking for things. This morning it seemed like when I would have the thought, I'm going to need my shoulder bag, it was in front of me. When I said, I need my headset, that's where I was looking. Maybe I saw it first out of the corner of my eye and then said, oh, I ought to look for it. But it was just like a dance. No wasted motion. No looking for anything. And then as I walked over here, it's a repeated phenomenon and finding in Mexico that whereas in the States, very few people greet you on the street, in Mexico everybody does. Not literally everybody. And there was one guy who seemed affronted by big dogs off leash. He just gave me a scowl. But mostly, buenos dias, buen dia. And whereas through most of my life I was besieged by the onslaught of thoughts in my head. A word guy who had words chatter going all the time. My internal chatter was mostly just subtitles to the movie I was observing around me. Look at them go, pouncing. They're getting happier every day, pouncing when he hunts. And they're working so closely together back there. Yeah. So instead of having thoughts, I would observe words like, wow, that guy said good morning, coming up on my right before I even saw him. He didn't even make eye contact with me. And he said, buenos dias. That's how I knew he was there, was that I could hear him saying Buenos dias. Extraordinary. So extraordinary in the friendliness of people, and extraordinary in that there were no thoughts in my head besides just, oh, I saw her the other day. She's even smiling brighter today. That's it. Wasn't thinking about my life or my day or my plans or my worries. Little by little over the course of 3 years, all that has died off. I think it's less in Mexico, but it just seems like the more I immerse myself in the experiences I'm having, almost all of which seem quite dramatic, my brain is not being used for anything that's not here and now, and not what's in front of me, or not what I need to deal with right then. Well, last night before bed, I thought, oh, I could shoot a journal video about my day, but where do I start? There's so many dramatic and fun and interesting experiences over the course of this day. One day, how could that be? Just one 16, 18, 20-hour day. And here I am in the field where 3 or 4 weeks ago Pepe died. For a while it was extraordinarily traumatic, gut-wrenching experience. And the first time I came back here, I don't know, a few days later, I shot a video commenting on it, and then even before the video ended, I was weeping quite heavily. I feel a little tug. I remember quite brilliantly how much I loved that little puppy, and how much he loved me and Magic, and how well they were doing, and the extraordinary dog it was clear he was going to turn out to be. But my life is gobbled up with my new dog, Bear, who in such a dramatically different way, huge dog instead of tiny puppy, a life on the street, which we don't know yet how many years it's been, versus the innocence and wonder of a 6-week or 8-week-old pup. Totally different dog, but he still needs some managing. On the way over here today, I did not bother to put a leash on him. First day I haven't put a leash on him at all, because he knows the way and he's very responsive to my verbal cues, and he sticks with Magic. But I had to watch him. He still wanted to wander in the street or cross the 8 lanes of La Avenida Tamaulipas. I don't think he has the concept yet that this isn't a country road. But that gave my mind nothing else to do, or for whatever reason my mind wasn't trying to do anything else. It was all focused on watch that little dog, or look at that old bus. Old buses in Mexico that don't bother to close the front and back doors. Those doors just stay open the whole time. I saw folks, I don't know, in Louisiana or somewhere, driving their minivan that way. They have the big side door open. They didn't bother to close it. And they said, cops don't worry about that around here. So I guess the cops don't worry about city buses never closing their doors. It's such a different world. So, who's got time to think about the price of tea in China when you've got a world around you that's so dramatic and so consuming of all your attention? Have a great day, folks.